I will be making a better quality video about this, but for right now, I want everybody to understand that I am correct when it comes to the law, and that is Maryland government officials take an oath of office. And this oath of office, if you break it, it's a crime. It's not a civil matter, it is a crime. It is a crime that will have you removed from office if you violate parts of the Maryland Constitution or federal Constitution, aka the United States Constitution. So, I'm going to leave this link in the pinned comment on this video, but I just want to scroll through this because, oh, you know what? I'm going to show you the web address right here. So, right there, if I could zoom in on it, which I can't, I would. But the bottom line is this: you cannot violate civil rights as an elected official and continue to resume office. Now, the problem is the Attorney General, who previous to Anthony Brown was Brian Frosh, he chose to not make prosecutions happen. So he allowed elected officials for years to get away with violating their oath. And I think that needs to end. Anthony Brown, if you're out there, and I met you in person one time when I was running for county executive, and I should have asked you in person, will you pledge to hold officials accountable when they violate their oath? And I didn't do that. But here's the bottom line. This right here is the proof. It's the law. And again, I'm going to be making a better video about this topic because I think a lot of people question me on this topic. And it needs to be put out there that indeed, when you take an oath in Maryland, if you become elected, then here we go. So first of all, you have to take the oath. You have to. Okay? You have to. And let's see. This goes on and on. Here we go. This is regarding, because some people question, well, does Maryland have to follow the U.S. Constitution? Maryland officials. Here we go. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. And then, as we can see here, under the Supreme Court decision McCulloch versus Maryland, this means that state governments and officials cannot take actions or pass laws that interfere with the Constitution, laws passed by Congress, or treaties. The Constitution was interpreted in 1819 as giving the Supreme Court the power to invalidate any state actions that interfere with the Constitution and the laws and treaties passed pursuant to it. That power is not itself explicitly set out in the Constitution, but was declared to exist by the Supreme Court in the decision of McCulloch versus Maryland. Now, here's the thing. And actually, it's about to get right to it. And this is something that I've talked about for a long time. Title 18. Now, this is actually Title 42, Section 1983. Now, this is the civil law, but we also have Title 18, Sections 242 and 243 that I've talked about several times. And then here we go. This is a Maryland law, 96-303. Again, I'm going to make a much more involved video about this where I'm on camera presenting, maybe interviewing people about this, because it needs to be understood by the citizens of Maryland that indeed, if a public official violates their oath of office, they are to be, first of all, given a fair trial. And if they are convicted of violating that oath, here it is. Any person violating said oath shall, on conviction thereof in a court of law, in addition to the penalties now and or hereafter, they should be incapable of holding any office of profit or trust in this state. But again, the problem is the prosecutor, the police, they do absolutely nothing. They choose to not follow this law. This is the supreme law of Maryland, Article 1, Elective Franchise, Section 11. And then here we have it in the actual state law, right here. An individual elected or appointed to an office shall be deemed to have refused the office if the individual declines or neglects to take and subscribe the oath prescribed. Subscribe means follow it. So, yeah. There you go. Bottom line is, these people should be respecting our rights. They should be defending our rights. They're not doing it. I don't know why. It drives me nuts. And I'm going to come for these people with a camera crew and a microphone because that's the peaceful thing to do. Because Adam is not a violent person. I'm not. If I were, it would be on my record. I would have a criminal record of violence. But I don't. And you want to know why? Because violence solves nothing. Okay. If you defend yourself, it solves the problem of you getting hurt or killed. But the bottom line is, I don't want to get to the point where we are having issues that involve harm, physical harm. So I try to use my words, and the elected officials absolutely hate it when you put a camera in their face and a microphone in their face and start asking them questions about the oath of office, about the Constitution, because they cannot defend their actions. And they know for a fact that if they answer the questions on camera, it could be a very big problem for them legally. So they do the smart thing and they either ignore people like myself or they call the police or whatever. But anyway, the bottom line is I'm going to be making a much better video than this one, but I wanted to get this information out there as quickly as possible because I finally found the link today. I put in the right search query, and there it is. This article is a perfect summary of the things I've been saying for a long time.